Hello, my name is Vedant. I am a legal intern with Lexis and Company. Please like and share the videos and subscribe to the YouTube channel of Lexis and Company. There is a small disclaimer as according to the guidelines of Bar Council of India. This videos does not promote or advertise anything about the company, and these videos are only for educational purposes. So, today's topic of the video is: can personal laws override the POSCO Act and Child Marriage Restraint Act? The Karnataka High Court answers this question in a recently decided case. The Karnataka High Court has said that though second marriage is permissible under Muslim law or Mohammedan law, but the personal law cannot override the special law of POSCO, Child Marriage Restraint Act, and the General Indian Penal Code. A single bench of Justice K. Natarajan, while dismissing the bail application filed by the accused Rahul, aka Nayaz Pasha, said merely because the parties are Mohammedan does not mean that the petitioner accused number one has the right to marry a minor girl by enticing and abducting her. The consent or will of the victim minor girl is immaterial, and even if she has voluntarily went with the accused, that amounts to abduction or kidnapping under section 363 of IPC. The accused not only abducted the victim minor girl aged about 15 years, he got married to her, which attract section 9 and section 10 of the Child Marriage Restraint Act. Apart from that, he has sexually assaulted her, which also attracts sections 4 and section 6 of the POSCO Act. The court also turned down the no objection given for bail to be granted to the accused by the victim. The court opined, the age of the victim being 15 years, her capacity of understanding cannot be on par with an adult person who has completed 18 years of age. Therefore, even otherwise, if she has given consent for abduction or marriage or sexual intercourse, her consent is immaterial as she was minor. The court noted that the respondent number 2, that is the complainant who appeared through an advocate and produced the affidavit of the victim stating that the victim herself went along with the accused and got married, and she is residing in the house of the petitioner accused. The court said that cannot be taken as her consent for granting bail. Even if victim stated no objection, but as she is a minor girl, it cannot be considered as a valid no objection as it is against the law of the land. Further, the court observed the victim has made her statement under section 164 CRPC. She has categorically stated that they threatened her to marry the accused and taken her to his first wife's house, accused number 2's house, and there the accused had sexual intercourse. Under section 164 of CRPC is foremost important for considering the bail petition of the accused. Even if the minor girl gives no objection to release the accused in an heinous crime like rape on a minor girl, and granting bail to the accused is nothing but giving license to the offender to commit sexual offences, which would dilute the special act enacted by the parliament for protecting children from sexual offences, and also deviating the provisions of section 9 and section 10 of Child Marriage Restraint Act. The court added, apart from the provisions of section 375 of IPC, it will send a wrong message to the society. Therefore, in the interest of the public at large, with an intention to curtail such type of sexual offences, the court shall ignore the consent of a minor girl, giving no objection for granting bail to the accused, and the court should deal with such an heinous offence with an iron hand. The background of the case was, as per the prosecution, the mother of the victim filed a complaint alleging that her daughter, the victim girl aged about 15 years, was abducted by the petitioner accused. It was alleged that at about 11 p.m. her daughter was sitting by holding the mobile phone. Thereafter, she was missing from the house. On 3 October 2020 at about 2 p.m. the victim girl came back by weeping. When she inquired her, the victim informed her mother that on 27th November 2020, when she was sitting with her mobile phone, the petitioner forcibly abducted her by gagging her with napkin and took her to his relative's house, kept her for 3 days and not allowed her to talk with anybody. Later in the night hours, the petitioner took her to a lonely place and obtained her signature. Thereafter, on 1st October 2020 at about 12 pm, the wife of the accused took the victim and left her in a house where the petitioner is said to have sexually assaulted her. On 3rd October 2020 at about 5 pm, the victim escaped from the custody of the petitioner. After registering the case, the police arrested the petitioner under section 363, 364, 363, 342, 114, 506, 376 read with section 34 of the IPC along with section 4, 6, 16, 4, 6, 17, A and 18 of the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act and section 9 and 10 of the Child Marriage Restraint Act. The Sessions Court rejected the bail application filed by the accused, following which the accused approached the High Court, and the High Court has held that the bail cannot be granted, even though there was a provision in the personal law that a accused can marry for a second time. So this was all about the case. This was all about what held by the Karnataka High Court. Please like and share the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel of Lexis and Company. Thank you.